Number one, resonant leadership. Create positive emotional climate, foster enthusiasm, trust, harmony to inspire, and connect with their team. This is extremely interesting and definitely something that is imperative in leadership if you've ever led or been a supervisor. And this could leave in your personal life, your private life, your work life, in many different facets. It's extremely interesting and very easy to use regardless of who you interact with on a daily basis. Number two, emotional intelligence is at the core of every interaction. Self awareness, self regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills are essential to any person, more especially those in leadership and management. Number three, leadership style flexibility, which is imperative because you generally have to be a chameleon and modify what you're doing based upon the team that you have and the kind of leader that you want to be, if that makes sense. And the biggest thing that I'd like to talk about when it comes to this is, if you notice during the first Godfather movie, is Marco Corleone, the consigliere, he basically dismissed him and he said, "You're not a wartime consigliere, you are a peacetime consigliere. So I will have to get somebody who is a wartime consigliere." This is the same kind of thing. You can't have a certain type of leader when it's not necessary for what needs to be done, or the team or the leader needs to be able to be more well-rounded, if that makes sense to you. This is what needs to happen as far as leadership styles, right? You have adaptive, visionary, coaching, affiliated democratic, pace setting, and commanding. All of these are different versions that this book talks about, and it goes into extreme detail, and I would strongly recommend that you figure out what needs to happen in your environment, and this will give you a way in which to do that, and it's extremely helpful. I've actually used lots of principles in this book for my teams that I currently operate within. Number four, developing and sustaining resonance, self-reflection. Seek feedback from your team members. Continuously develop their emotional intelligence to maintain authenticity and connection with those that they work with and even customers. All of that is extremely important to running a functional business or having a functional organization. If you don't have emotional intelligence, it's going to be very hard. If you're not going to be self aware, you become arrogant and then also be in denial, which is not a help to anybody involved. Number five, impact of leadership on organizational climate. It is responsible, in my opinion, and of this book as well, that I like to parrot, that to create a positive climate. So nice. And I've noticed over the years that a lot of folks, regardless of their grade, how much they make or whatnot, but if they feel respected and they feel like there's dignity in their job that they do, and they're able to go and do their work and feel value in their work, they generally will stay even at a lesser cost because they know that the climate is beneficial to them. Where most folks, where the leadership is poor, people will jump off the ship and try to leave because they know there's no future there and it's being ran poorly. And it's fairly obvious depending on where you are. The next thing would be is leading to improved performance. So that could be different metrics. Obviously, it's depending on where you work at, but that's extremely important as well because you want to improve your performance and metrics. Obviously, a lot of times not everything is numbers. I like to say that. Sometimes people get bogged down in numbers and don't really actually pay attention that humans are on the other side of those numbers. And that has a lot to do with how those numbers reflect upon the people that are doing them, if that makes sense to you guys. Another thing is collaboration. And I like to say this as alliances, collaborate between different areas, different sections of working, because a lot of times that's what happens to the overall goal, is to have different areas doing their responsibility to produce a common mission or a common goal, in my experience. Another thing is overall success of the organization. By having this leadership involved, it will help the success of the organization go forward and carry forward, and there won't be any ambiguity within the ranks or anything like that. It's very clear cut and exactly what needs to happen. Thank you guys very much for this review. I do appreciate it. I'm going to leave a review of the David and Goliath book by Malcolm Gladwell as the end screen. I do have an Instagram account, which will be down below, and I'm there much more than I am on YouTube. I also have a Patreon channel if you're interested in that. And if today's the day that I earned your subscription, thank you very much and have a wonderful day.